Thank you for joining us for this webinar today, How to Automate Your Letters and Precedents, the latest in a series of webinars that the LEAP Client Success team are running. These webinars aim to improve the way small law firms implement the features of LEAP. My name is Brooke Limmer, and I'm a Client Success Manager here in Victoria. I'm also joined by Cassandra Webb, who is a LEAP Content Consultant. In today's webinar, we are going to take you through how to automate your precedents to enable you to make better use of your time and to streamline the processes within your firm. As with all our webinars, it will be run in listen-only mode and will run for approximately 30 minutes. You can type any questions you have in the section at the bottom of your GoToWebinar panel. We will respond to questions at the end of the webinar. A recording will also be sent to you and be made available via our previous webinar link in the LEAP community. The specific topics that we will cover today include how to create a letter precedent, how to create an email precedent, how to make simple amendments to your precedents, and also an explanation of document types. The first process we are going to look at today is how to create a letter precedent. To access your precedents in LEAP, you first have to open a matter. When creating precedents, to ensure you have access to the relevant fields, you should open a matter that the precedent is going to relate to. So let's look at a family law divorce matter. Click on the Guides and Precedents button along the top of the Details and Correspondence tab. As you can see, it will take you directly to the precedents that are relevant to the particular matter type, so to the family law divorce precedents for this example. If you click on the Browse tab up the top, it will take you to the folder list. You can see that there are various folders containing precedents relevant to the different stages of the matter. As well as containing LEAP forms and by lawyers precedents, you can save your firm's precedents in here by creating a folder for your firm's documents relating to the particular matter type. You can see here there is a folder SRM Law Precedents. If you don't have a firm folder, it is easy to create by right-clicking in the white space and selecting New and then Folder. Your firm's precedents that you create are easily identifiable by the purple color of the document title. As you can see, there are a few precedents in this folder that are purple. Any precedents that you amend or modify, whether they be LEAP, by lawyers, or your own precedents, are also shown in purple, so it makes them easy to distinguish. We will talk more about modification of precedents later in the webinar. Now to create a letter precedent. For the purpose of this training, we will use this divorce matter type and create a letter to the client confirming the divorce application has been filed with the court. If we click on the firm precedent folder, right-click anywhere in the white space and select New and then the Word or Excel precedent. A pop-up window will appear that will list your document types. In this case, you are going to select Letter, and as it's going to be a letter to the client, you would also select the client from the right side and click OK. This will mean every time you generate this precedent, it will be addressed to the client on the matter. A Word document will generate using this letter document type, and you are now ready to insert the content of your letter precedent. So I'm just going to copy and paste our content here. And as you can see, there's some information that will be relevant to the particular matter you are working on. This is information that can be automated from fields from your matter in LEAP. So whenever you use this letter, it will populate with the relevant data from the relevant matter you are working on. If you automate your precedents in this way, you will only ever have to enter the information once into LEAP, rather than typing or copying and pasting every time. It also minimizes possible mistakes from typos from manually entering the data each time. In order to automate the letter, you need to insert fields to pull information from the LEAP matter through to the precedent letter. We recommend when opening your matters in LEAP, you enter as much data as possible and continue to input further information as it becomes known, as this will save you significant time when creating and generating precedents. Now let's look at the fields you need to insert. To access the available fields, in the Word document on the LEAP ribbon at the top, select the Editing button on the right. By clicking on the arrow at the bottom of the button, a drop-down menu will appear. And to insert fields, simply select the Insert option. A side panel will now open in Word, and the tab we are currently sitting on, the Fields tab up the top, is the tab that we want. This provides a list of fields that are available. Within this panel, there is a drop-down menu which allows you to navigate to the different table types that are relevant for this particular matter type. There are literally hundreds of fields that can be inserted based on the matter type and particular data that you enter into LEAP. This is why it's important to open a matter that the precedent relates to. If you aren't in the correct matter type, these wouldn't be the correct table types to make your precedent automation work properly. So how do you know what particular menu will contain the correct field you want to insert? You look at where the information is stored in LEAP. Looking at the example, the first field you want to insert is the divorce from the other side, which would populate with information of the other side. If you go to your LEAP matter, you can use the Bring to Front button in Word to bring LEAP to the front. Double-click on the matter type, and you can see the other side is listed as husband, and that the husband data has been entered into LEAP. Going back to Word, click on the drop-down menu in the Insert panel, and you can see that there is an Other Side menu. Now, all the fields underneath this relate to the other side specifically. LEAP defaults to the most commonly used fields for the table type. However, if you can't find the field that you want to insert, tick the box named Show Hidden Fields down the bottom, and more fields will appear. You can tell these additional fields by the blue color. We can see that there is a field called Full Legal Description Single. These full legal description fields are the most commonly used fields in LEAP. They will give you the full legal description of a party, and there are different formats of this field depending on how you require your data to be presented. For example, your file may have multiple parties, in which case you would choose the full legal description multiple. There are also options for a full legal description with or without an ACN, so these can be used for companies and businesses as well. In this case, we are going to use the full legal description single. Make sure that you place your cursor in the document where you want the field to appear. So I'm just going to put my cursor there. Highlight the field you want to insert, full legal description single, and you can either double click on the field to insert it, or you can single click on the field and click on the insert button in the bottom right corner. And the field has been inserted with the details of the other side, in this case, the husband's name. The second field to be inserted is details of the court, so has been filed with the court name. Again, consider where that information is stored in LEAP. Go back to the LEAP matter using the Bring to Front button in Word, and you can see that there is a table type for court. In Word, in your menu options in the Insert panel, you can see that there is a court table type menu. From this list, it looks like it could be the card short name. Again, make sure that your cursor is in the document at the place where you want the field to appear. Highlight the field you want to insert and click on the Insert button in the bottom right corner. And the field will now be inserted. Moving to the last piece of information you want to automate in this precedent, which is the court number. This information is also entered in the court table type, so you can stay in this court menu. To narrow the choice of fields, you can use the search function up the top and search for the word number. This will bring back any field with the word number in it. However, it doesn't look like any of these is the right field that we are looking for. So how about if we search for the abbreviation NO, sorry. You can see that there is a field called Court Number Display, so you could try that one. Remember to place the cursor where you want the field to appear, click on the field, and then click on Insert. And there it is. Now all the fields have been inserted and the precedent has been automated. A very useful feature is the toggle fields function. This allows you to toggle between showing the data and showing the fields themselves. You can check to see the location and details of your fields. To toggle the fields, you either press the Alt button at the same time as the F9 button on your keyboard, so that's Alt and F9, or you can use the option in the Leap editing button. If you click there, there is an option to toggle the fields. Toggle fields will show the coding, including which table you pulled the field from and what particular field it was. This can be useful if you find a field that is not providing the correct result. It may be that the corresponding information in Leap has not been entered, and you can work out where it has to be entered by looking at the code. You can go back to Leap while the precedent is still open, enter the information in the relevant area, and when you are back in the precedent, you can click on Update up the top, and it will run the fields again, and the information will be pulled through. It is also important to mention body bookmarks at this stage. A body bookmark protects the body content of your precedents, which means if you change the document type of the precedent, the content is protected and will be pulled through to the new document type. It's crucial that the entire contents of your precedent is protected, or else it will result in some of your content disappearing if the document type is changed. Conversely, it is also important to note the only place you can enter text is where the body bookmark is located. In any other position, the text or field will be overridden by the document template. In the example here, the body bookmark should protect the letter contents, so from the first sentence to the last. To view the body bookmark, or to insert one if it doesn't exist in the document, you click on the Insert ribbon in Word, and in the middle of the ribbon is the bookmark button. If you click on that button, it will bring up a pop-up window that lists your bookmarks. And as you can see, the body bookmark already exists in this document. If you wanted to see what is included in the bookmark, you highlight the word body and click Go To. You can see there is highlighted text in the precedent. This is what is included in the body bookmark and what is protected if the document type is changed. If we change the document type of the precedent, it will show you the protected body book information that will pull through. So from the Leap ribbon in Word, click on the Apply Document Type to change the document type that applies to this precedent. In this example, we will change this precedent from a letter to a fax, saving it with the name SRM Law Fax to Client confirming application filed. You can see once it's been created that it is now a fax with the fax number and total pages of the fax included. And as you can see, it's pulled through the content of the precedent due to the body bookmark. If you can convert it back to a letter, so that's what we're going to do now. If the body bookmark did not exist in the precedent, you would highlight the text that you want to protect, click on the Insert ribbon at the top, and click on the bookmark button. You would select New and type the word body so it was easily recognizable, and this would mean that the content of the body bookmark is protected. Once you are happy with your precedent and the automation of its contents, it can be saved. It's important to remember wherever you leave the cursor in the document when you save the precedent is where the cursor will be when you generate the precedent in the future. Okay, so you can see that the precedent letter has been saved to the firm's folder for the divorce precedents. Remember the automation that we created within this precedent means that the information will be pulled through from Leap whenever you use this letter in a matter, provided the data has been pulled through, has been inputted into Leap. And I'm just renaming that because we changed it back to a letter. Moving on to emails. And as emails become the norm of communicating, it is a good idea to set up precedents for your emails. Email precedents are created much in the same way as letters. We are going to create an email that is relevant to a criminal law matter. So make sure you are in a criminal law matter type. We'll just open that up. Click on the Guides and Precedents button. And if you click on the Browse tab, it will take you directly to the criminal law folder and the relevant precedents. As you can see, there are LEAP and bylaws precedents in the criminal law folder, and there is also a folder for the firm. We are going to write an email to the client requesting that they come in for a conference after the prosecutor's brief has been delivered so the case can be discussed. To create an email precedent, and you're in the firm's folder, you right-click and select New, and this time you're going to select the Outlook precedent. And also then select the client, as that is who it will be addressed to. An Outlook email will then open, which you can work on. You can see that this email does not have an email signature. If you have your Outlook set up that automatically inserts your email signature when you open a new email, it will automatically be inserted as normal when you generate this precedent. If you leave this subject line blank, the default reline that you set up when you opened the matter in LEAP will populate when the precedent is generated. Or if you would like something more specific, you can enter that here too. So we've put important request to schedule a conference. And in the body of the email, you can now add your content. So we're just going to cut and paste that. Again, you can see that some information can be automated. So every time this precedent is used, you do not have to manually type or cut and paste the details. The first field that needs to be inserted is the salutation. Similar to Word, there is a LEAP menu within the Outlook email that contains the Insert option for fields. So click on Insert, and the panel will appear on the right side of the screen. It has the same field information as Word, so follow the same logic to find the fields you want to insert. This email is addressed to the client, so ask yourself, where is the client information held in LEAP? Going back to LEAP, you can see that the client is the accused. And going back to Outlook and looking in the field panel, you can see that there is an accused field menu. And within that menu is a card dear. Again, make sure that your cursor is in the right place in the email. Click on the field and insert it by pressing Insert in the bottom right corner. And you can see that the client's name has populated there. The second field to insert is the staff member that will be attending the meeting with the client. So for a conference with so-and-so. In this case, it will be the person acting who has day-to-day carriage of the file. So where is that information found in LEAP? The person acting is contained within the matter details. So you can see there the person acting is Ronnie Coleman. So go back to Outlook and see if there is a matter menu in the Insert panel. And there is. You can narrow down your search by using the search feature. So I'm going to enter acting, and any field with the word acting will appear. And you can see that there's a field, person acting full name. So that is the one you would choose. And you can now insert it. And Ronnie Coleman appears. So now the contents and fields of your email have been inserted. It has automation, so every time you use this email to contact the client after the brief has been served, you won't have to manually input any details. You could also attach files if you have standard documents that are relevant to the precedent content. However, in this case, the precedent contains all the information you want, so you can click Save and Close up the top. It will prompt you to enter a new name for the precedent, and again, give it a meaningful name. In this case, we're going to name it SRM Law Email to Client After Brief Served. And click OK. So you can see how this email precedent would look. We're going to generate this email to the client. To generate the document, you simply highlight the precedent you want to create and click Select down the bottom. The email then generates. And as you can see, it has populated with the customized subject line, the fields that have been pulled through from information entered into LEAP, and the email signature also appears. You could then simply click on Send or Time and Send if you wanted to generate a time entry after working on the document. We'll just cancel out of that one. When setting up your precedents, it can be a bit of trial and error to decide which field to insert. Be comfortable enough to insert a few fields to see what information they pull through and what they look like. Remember to think about where the information is stored in LEAP, as this will assist you in selecting the correct field. Also remember, you don't need to fully automate the precedent content all at once. They can definitely be a work in progress as you get more comfortable with the capabilities of precedent automation in LEAP. Now let's take a look at how to modify your precedents, in particular formatting your fields. So let's search for the letter we're going to amend, which is an initial letter to our vendor client confirming settlement in a conveyancing matter. So we're in a conveyancing matter here in the Guides and Precedents button, and we're going to click on the Search tab up the top. Going to type in the title of the document you want to amend. So in this case, it will be SRM Law Initial Letter to Client. If you wanted to see where this letter sits in the precedent folder structure, you can highlight it, right-click, and view precedent location. This will take you to the folder where it is saved, and you can see it's saved in the firm's precedent folder in the Sales Precedents. You also have a Customs Precedent tab, which lists all the precedents you have created or amended, and you can search for precedents from this tab as well. If you do not have the Custom Precedent tab displaying, you can elect to show it by going to the hamburger symbol in the top right corner of the Guides and Precedents window and selecting Show Custom Precedents tab, and this will bring up your list. So let's go back to the letter that we want to amend. And so it's SRM Law Initial Letter to Client. Click on the title to highlight it, right-click, and you would select Modify Precedent. It is important to remember if you are going to modify any precedents provided by LEAP or by lawyers, you should first make a duplicate of the precedent and then modify the precedent. So there's an option to duplicate, and then you would modify that duplicated document. If you make changes to the original precedent, you will not receive any updates from LEAP or by lawyers. So for that precedent, you would have to then right-click and revert to standard in order to get those updates. But in this case, it is a firm precedent, so you are simply going to go back to the document we're going to amend, highlight it, right-click, and select Modify Precedent. And this is going to bring up our precedent so we can make the necessary amendments. Now you may want to see what fields have been inserted in the precedent, so you can toggle to see where the fields are. In this precedent, the settlement date is a field as well as the purchase price. However, if you toggle back, the fields are not formatted in the usual way you are used to seeing dates and amounts. You are able to format how these fields look. If you go to your LEAP editing menu up the top, there is an option to format fields. But however, in order to format a field, you first need to highlight it. So that's highlighted. I'm just going to highlight that. Go back to the editing and choose Format Fields. A pop-up window with some options appears. On the left are some document types. So if you select Date, different formatting options appear on the right. So in this case, we're going to select the long format. So highlight that one and click OK. And you can see that this changes the format of the date. So we're just going to repeat that for the purchase price. So you highlight the field, go to the editing button, choose Format Fields, click on Number, and this time we're going to choose a number with a $ and decimal point. And then if we click OK, that formatting will come through. You can do other formatting to your precedent. For example, if you wanted to bold the fields, you can select them and then use the regular word formatting steps to bold the text. Don't forget when making changes to get in the habit of checking the body bookmark. Go into the insert ribbon up the top and click on the bookmarks button. You can see in this list that the body bookmark is missing, so it needs to be inserted. So cancel out of that pop-up window and select the content you want to protect with the body bookmark. So it's the content of the letter. Click back into the bookmark button. Type in the name of the if you go back, type in the name of the bookmark, which is going to be body, and click add on the right side. This has now added the body bookmark. If you wanted to check it again, let's just go back into the bookmarks button, select body, and click on the go to on the right side. That will highlight the content that is protected within the precedent. So if you change the document type of the precedent in the future, the content will pull through. Once you have made all the changes that you want and have checked the body bookmark, you can now save and close the document from the Leap ribbon. You'll be presented with a screen which asks you to enter a reason for the change. We recommend you enter as much detail as possible, as this information is a good record to see what changes the precedent has gone through, which you can access through its history of changes. We click OK there. You can see that the letter has been saved in the SRM law precedents. If we want to check the history of changes, you just right-click down the bottom, and you can see all the changes that this precedent has gone through. I just wanted to touch on document types. Document types are the templates that all your letters, faxes, and other documents are based on, and would have been set up by a LEAP certified consultant when your firm had LEAP installed. They can be found in the Details and Correspondence tab in a LEAP Matter by clicking on the More Types button. Common document types are letters, faxes, memos, and file notes, and it's these templates that you use as a base for your precedents. We recommend keeping your document types to a manageable amount. By keeping it to the key document types your firm requires, it will ensure a simple process should your firm make changes, such as a new logo, addition of a solicitor, or adding your Christmas message. We don't recommend that you have too many, and if the document types are set up correctly, you should be able to have only one letter, one fax, etc. And this certainly isn't the correct area to save commonly used documents, but rather use the precedent creation steps I have gone through today to create precedents for your commonly used documents. So in this webinar, you have learned to create both a letter and email precedent, how to include fields to automate these precedents, and also how to make simple amendments to your firm's precedents. Precedent automation and management means your firm spends less time on manual tasks and more time on the actual matter for your client. LEAP has options for your firm should you require customized precedent training or even assistance with setting up custom precedents. It does take a bit of time at the beginning to set up, and for those firms that are time poor or even those that are interested in learning more about automation, our content team could really assist. Cassandra is one of our content consultants. I'm going to hand you over to her to detail the services our content team have available to our clients.
Thank you, Brooke. We have a few options available based on your firm's individual needs. We can train you on how to automate your firm's complex precedents within LEAP through an online advanced precedent training session. The advanced precedent training session covers advanced if-then-else statements, ask statements, and modifying document types. One of the benefits of the precedent training is that it allows you to automate and manage your firm's precedents at a time convenient to you. We understand that many clients have good intentions to automate their precedents, however they are time poor. To assist, we can automate 25 of your firm's custom precedents. All you need to do is send us your top 25 custom precedents and we will automate these. The custom precedent pack will save your firm's time and resources as LEAP does this work for you. Using automated precedents through LEAP saves your firm a huge amount of time, reducing the rekeying of information and the amount of time spent searching for precedents. It minimizes risk by having a central place for commonly used precedents. You can produce precedents that are standard and uniform across your firm, and it reduces user error when drafting precedents. If you would like to discuss specific requirements for your firm and the investment required for these services, please add a comment in the question panel and we will get in touch with you. Or alternatively, you can send an email to clientsuccess@leap.com.au.
Thanks, Cassandra. Now, I can see that a few questions have come through, but unfortunately we've run out of time for today's webinar, but we will review them and get back to you with an answer shortly. Don't forget to register for our upcoming webinars, How to Be Successful and Achieve Work-Life Balance, that is on tomorrow, and also one next week, How to Get Paid Faster and Improve Cash Flow. Make sure you regularly review the What's New section in Leap Community. Also, for content or knowledge-based help, we encourage you to find the answer through our many knowledge articles in the Leap Community webpage. You can also use the live chat option to the right of every Leap Community page. If you are experiencing technical issues with Leap that is not related to the understanding of the software or knowledge of its features, please send an email to log a call with the help desk to support@leap.com.au. Please include a detailed description of your issue and screenshots if they are relevant. That's all for today. Thanks for attending today's webinar, and we look forward to seeing you at our next webinar.